is Danielle Willis, IFBB PRO, another installment of Queens of the Olympia with Masters champion, Reshanna Boswell. She's in the building. We're going to make sure she stays in the building this time. So let's get right into it. How does it feel now being first Masters Olympia in a decade plus, and you were the champion?
I know it's surreal. You know, I'm still getting used to it. It feels good. It's overwhelming. And I just keep saying, like, I'm just emotional. Like,
hello.
I don't know. Keep checking out.
I am determined. I was like, we are in the elements. This is like we're in the field. Okay,
yeah.
Anything can happen.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's fine.
Figure it out. So go ahead. You were just telling us.
Yeah, no, like it's. I mean, I was just thinking about it. You know, it's a week since, you know, the show, and a week since I've been back, literally. And I mean, it's surreal. It's overwhelming a bit. I'm still super emotional. I'm checking in with my coach every single day. It's almost like we're doing like this virtual hug every day. We're still just kind of like, wow, did we do that? And really just trying to figure out what it all means exactly and how this is going to affect me. You know, the stakes have definitely gone up. I'm definitely on the radar now. There's definitely a much higher expectation at this point. So just taking all that in and understanding that. So it's kind of where I'm at now.
Oh yeah, the gravity of that, having more eyes on you now than ever before. And you've been in the sport a long time. You know, you are a veteran of the sport. And again, this is not your first, right? This is time Olympia going on now. You're sixth. So I think it's pretty good now. I think it's like a nice culmination, right? Of everything.
Well, I feel like it's like solidified what was kind of like, hey, Reshanna's kind of good, and if she's in the lineup, you kind of got to rethink what you thought was your top five. And now I think that may have just solidified that. So now it's like, okay, there's no time to really falter right now. My coach is like, there is no time to falter. You have to deliver now. You really have to deliver. And yeah. So
walk us through what went into the decision to go to go for Masters. Walk us through what went into your prep, all of that.
Yeah, so I saw the show and I literally was like, ooh, that looks cool. And that looks like it would be just a fun show to do initially. Mike never been to Romania, never traveled that far. And that was my initial thought. And then I was like, well, let's just apply and then we'll see if we get in. And then when I got accepted, I had a bunch of people like congratulating me even before I even heard from like Wings and New. And I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, but I don't have like a passport either, right? So like I was like, I should go apply for that passport now. So it was just like it was like a lot of little things too. Like it was cool, but then my wife's like, and you know that's like a 14-hour flight, right? Didn't know any of that. I just thought it would be cool to do the show. Like literally. Didn't have a passport at all. My driver's license had just expired. I lost my birth certificate. Like I had all this. It took me 4 weeks just to even get my stuff together to go apply. And I'm like, okay, we got 14 weeks total to do this. 4 I wasted trying to even get my passport. So I got my passport like 3 weeks before the show. So I was like, yeah, we're cutting it kind of close.
Wow.
Yeah, but so I was telling my coach, I'm like, you know, he's like, we're not gonna worry about that. We're getting you there some kind of way. I need you to focus on prep because, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna prep this hard, and then something holds me back, and I can't even get there. You know, so. But yeah, once I made the decision, and I was like, okay, we got the invite. It was just like, okay, we got, you know, really 14 weeks, and I mean, it was a pretty easy prep. Honestly, I knew I had to be super strict, and if I did everything right. This was going to be a winnable show for me, but this was going to be the biggest show of my bodybuilding career, win or lose. So, you know, and my coach was pretty adamant. He's like, I think we can win this thing. You're going to have to be super focused to do it, though. You know, so it was kind of one of those, like, whether I won it or lost, it was going to be entirely based on me, nothing else. And that's how I felt. So I didn't care about who else was competing, you know, disrespect, but I didn't care. That didn't matter. It was going to be how I prepped. And if I prepped accordingly, I could win this thing. You know, and a couple of times, you know, I stumbled and faltered, but that's when the good coaching came in and those very not so nice pep talks helped to kind of, you know, get me focused again. My coach is really good about that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
To be able to pull that all together, and as I've been talking to others this year, it shows our resilience, our resourcefulness, right? As women's bodybuilders, athletes, period. You want to get the job done, you get it done no matter what. You know, the sky could be falling. You know, again, you got a license, a passport. You know, you're trying to figure out how you're going to get it, but you figured it out.
Exactly.
And to me, I don't know about you, and I was talking to my co-host about this a little bit earlier. I feel that if you're able to come that far, right, and be your best before you even get on the stage, that's the win right there.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Absolutely.
To be able to go that far under those extreme circumstances, right?
Yeah.
That's the win right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So can you walk us through the actual show day itself?
Show day itself. Oh, show day started. I'm making sure we slept. Those 24 hours, pretty much eating every 2 to 4 hours usual. My meals, I pretty much stick with eggs and rice. They work well for me. Was eating every couple of hours, checking in with my coach every couple of hours. It's weird too, because our biggest concern was really just the time difference and making sure we got the timing right. Just because it's almost a 10-hour difference, you know, from where he's at to where I'm at, you know, just the Chicago time. I wasn't holding a ton of water, so when I woke up that morning, I checked in. I had my cheat meal the night before. It's always the same. It's burger, fries, and a slice of cheesecake. So I woke up the next morning pretty full from that, and I was filling out nicely, drying out nicely. And it's posing and eating. It's posing and eating. I wake up about 2. First meal was like at 2:30 that morning. Sent check-in pictures after that. Makeup I had makeup at like 5 in the morning. We got on stage at 12:30. I checked in with my coach probably 3 times over the course of that. Checked in with my posing coach as well. So the key, once I start getting those carbs in, is just I hit a couple of poses and just start tightening up, and everything just tightens up and dries out even more. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, this many years in the game, is it easier, you think? You feel like you finally got that sweet spot where you know, or how? Yeah, talk about that.
I think like I know my body at this point. Like I know what foods work. There's not like a lot of guessing games as far as, hey, what we're going to have the night before. It's been pretty set for the last few years, and it works. You know, I don't take a ton of diuretics. That's not necessary as I've gotten older and as the years have gotten on. I've taken way less in diuretics before a show than I did, you know, when I was younger and when I started competing years ago. It's down to basically 1, you know, the night before, and that's pretty much it. Like, you know, you don't need it, and if you're lean enough and conditioned enough, you don't need it, and you shouldn't need it. So I've definitely learned that, just in terms of like diuretics and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just yeah, show day. I haven't changed much. I mean, I have the same meal. It's always burger and fries. It's always some type of dessert that night before. I keep it pretty clean throughout the rest of the day as I'm pumping up. I always have a little bit of coffee because I need that. But yeah, I know my body. I know what kind of foods work. I know what doesn't work. So we don't change a lot of stuff at this point, and it seems to be working.
Well, you hit a really you made a good point about knowing your body, and especially as you get older. I've actually heard this from a lot of competitors that are more seasoned. Less is more, and that's a good message, a good takeaway for actually anyone coming up too. You know, once you learn your body, or you get yourself to a certain spot, and again, are you already ready going into the show enough? You shouldn't have to go overboard and overdo it.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing with younger people and younger athletes coming into the game. And unfortunately, it's a hard lesson learned, you know, and there were times where, hey, you know, while you're flat on stage, you took too much. You just didn't need it. Or maybe perhaps you were still too many weeks out and you just weren't ready. And maybe you didn't have anybody in your corner that was willing to tell you that. And that's unfortunate, but, you know, been there, done that. I think we all have at some point. But, you know, you know, and I feel like, yes.
I'll raise my hand.
Look, it's a hard lesson learned. It's a hard lesson learned, unfortunately.
But you learn by going through it. That's all.
And sometimes that's the only way. Sometimes that's the only way. You just have to go through it, you know. And I've been fortunate enough to go through it and still come out on the other side of it. you know, and be successful too. So but yeah, sometimes you have to go through it. And I feel like for me now, like I said, the meals don't change the night before. I'm on minimal diuretics and things the night before. It's not necessary at this point because I'm lean enough and conditioned enough going into the show, you know, a couple weeks ahead. So that's kind of the plan. So yeah, then we keep it pretty clean throughout as far as pumping up. My pump up food is Teddy Grahams. That is my pump up food. I've learned that works best for me.
Teddy Graham?
Teddy Grahams, yeah, that's my thing, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's like old school. Okay,
You'll see people backstage. Everyone's got like chips or whatever. I'm like, no, give me like a box of Teddy Graham. My coach is like, seriously, I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. I'll pump a couple of those. Yeah, I'm good. It's just
okay. So Team Boswell's got the Teddy Grahams on lock. Hey, everybody's got their thing, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead and talk about some highlights besides that big win. I know just being there itself with that legendary lineup of ladies, I'm sure was just something to take in.
You know, that the whole experience, like the fans were just different, like the whole, like just from the moment you got there, it was just, I just keep saying it was just an experience. It was just like epic. I can't even really, it was just hard to explain, but it was like a whole vibe. Like it was just, I'm like, these are my people. This is where everyone's at. Like the fans were, they understood it. They respected it. You know, so I think there was just a level of respect there that was just like, wow, okay. And then just to be a part of it. And then, like, for me, like, standing next to Michelle Brandt, and I was joking about that because she's one of my sponsors. She's, you know, does my jewelry and stuff. But, like, standing next to her, and I'm like, you know, she's 65. I mean, yes, I'm over 40. But I'm, like, talking to her. You know, she's been doing this 20 years or more. Like, we were joking. She's like, you could be my daughter. Like, I'm like, for real. But you've been doing it that long, and you're still healthy, and you still look good. And, you know, it's like, whoa, I'm like, I want to be able to do that at your age. Like, that's, you know, and be able to hold your own. Like, that's like, yeah, it was just awesome. It was just a great experience and being around people like her. Liv Denny was in my ear like the whole time when we were going up there. She's like, you got it. But she was just, it's like we compete against each other, but then it was at the same time, just everyone was just so supportive backstage. Everyone's just like, because it was like hot, and they're like, hey, look, fix your hair and patting you down. Like, no one's letting anyone just, you know, everyone's just kind of like talking backstage and just kind of joking. It was like a whole vibe. It was just awesome. And the arena itself is huge. So you're like walking around. I'm like, yeah, I've arrived. You know, it's like one of those things.
I've arrived. I'm hoping that they had you know, some warmer, well, it's summertime, so I'm sure you didn't have to worry about the cold. So I'm sure it was warm.
No, it was hot. It was like 90 there. It was like crazy hot. Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah. You didn't have to worry about the cold like we had to do backstage. So I'm sure that also helps, right?
Yeah.
Having the warmer temperature for the conditioning.
Yeah, dry. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So you do coach and you train as well, and you know we've kind of been following. You know, I kind of peep in on your stories every now and again about how communicative you are with your clients, and I think that that's important to highlight on this segment. How important it is, and how you're able to juggle competing and also training others yourself.
Yeah, I mean, my clients, you know, I mean, I've been personal training a little bit longer than I've been competing, you know, but a lot of my clients have been with me, you know, long term. They've been with me for years. My longest client has been with me almost 12 years off and on. He's been hanging around for a long time. So they've been with me through a lot of the like prep, so they get it. And I think they enjoy it. They see me being able to kind of practice what I preach, and it's like, you know, off season to dieting to being stage ready and the level of discipline. I think they admire that level of discipline. I can always tell during like my prep time, they tend to hone in and to be a little bit even stricter on what they do themselves. And I'm one of those trainers where I'm like, I'm all in your business. Like, you know, like I want to know what you're doing when you're not training with me. Like, what else are you doing workout wise, whether it's yoga, Pilates, whatever you're doing outside of me. Like, I'm very like on top of my clients and what they do, you know, training wise overall, not just with me. So I think I'm really I have that approach. And my clients are really patient. They know, like, when I'm traveling, they're like, okay, it's that time again. But as soon as I land, like, I mean, I came back from Romania that Sunday I was back right at work 5 a.m. that Monday morning, just right back at it, getting in as many of them as I could. And then I work with a really small, good group of other trainers, and if need be, I can let, they'll take another client for me just so that client doesn't miss a session. I don't work in a place where it's like, oh, mine. We're very much, it's a long-term group. We've been together years, and very respectful of each other's talent and how we train. So, like, clients are always going to be of utmost importance, with the trainer, so they never miss sessions. We'll always have someone that can kind of look out if need be. So
that's good, and that goes to show how important community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though this is a tough sport, it does take a village. It does take a team. It does take multiple people, right? In general, when you're trying to stay in this lifestyle and just even for your clients, maintain that level of health.
And they know when I'm that week before the show, they're like, should I go get my own weights? Could you please go grab your own weights? Let me just they know that week before the show, I'm struggling. So like, they've been with me long enough to know they're like, okay. And I've had clients, bring me like gallons of water, bought you a gift. Okay. Like they buy, they bring stuff like that, just, and they follow me and they reach. I had a couple clients, even before I had posted anything, they were already texting me congratulations because they had either bought the pay-per-view or had been following along and stuff. So they were reaching out, as soon as they saw, just to congratulate me and stuff, which is huge. I appreciate that. It's really, nice that they, are following along like that too. So.
Yeah, that's a testament to the connection that you establish, and that's the most important takeaway is establishing connections, true connections with your clients.
Yeah.
And you having a connection with your coach, that has also played an important role in your success. Huge.
I wanted this win for the both of us. I wanted this for the both of us. Eric Brozer is the best coach I've ever had. He's the best coach I've ever had. The communication, and we joke a lot. I'm like, I'm a lot for most people, and I know it. He's like, yes, but my degree is in psychology, so we're fine. Because there's been a few times I've just kind of gone off the deep end, and some coaches have not been able to handle that, and we've parted ways, and he's so far he's stuck it out. And then for Romania with this show, I mean, I told him, I'm like, I just need you to stay up. I don't even know if I'm going to need anything. I probably won't, but I just need to know that you're going to stay up, even though you're 10 hours behind. Like, I don't really care. I just need you to be up. And we did. And he's like, okay, are you good? And after prejudging, he's like, I am dead. Are you good? I'm like, I'm good. And then he ended up not going to sleep anyway because he couldn't sleep, of course. But it was, it was one of those. I'm like, I didn't really need anything at all. I just wanted to know that you were there. That's it. But that's what I needed, so that's what he provided, and it's a little bit of tough love when, I kind of faltered a little bit with the prep, and I was like, he's like, it's now or never, like, you do, this is it, so he's very good with those kinds of things too, and I appreciate it. So I can go on autopilot as far as workouts, just tell me what to do that's going to make me look like this, and I'm good. That's all I want to do. So he's been really on top of that, and we managed to add 10 pounds of muscle to this frame, so.
Wow. 10 pounds since last Olympia then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which was funny because I got on the scale and I was 169.5. I was 159 last year. So stepped on stage at 169. Yeah, 10 pounds up. So.
Oh, I knew you looked fuller. And bigger. Just didn't know what the number was. So.
And it was funny because we did, and I didn't, honestly, my off-season weight didn't go above 180. I think I hit like 178. We were just working with them.
You're taller than me. How tall are you again?
5'5.5". Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I kept thinking, I'm like, so I told him, I'm like, so like, what, 190, 200? He's like, God, no, that's not, he's like, we don't need to put that much in because it's always, for me, it's adding this amount of muscle and as much muscle as we can without sacrificing my shape, because that's the shape and the structure, that's my winning ticket. So we can add as much muscle as possible without, but that's my shape can't change. My waist, we can't sacrifice my waist, So that was one of the things too. He's like, no, you're probably not going to get over 180, and I didn't, So it made it, so dialing it down was very, very slow, So I'm like, right, I hit, my last weigh-in 169 after carb ups, probably back up to 172. Weight didn't go any higher than 180 in the off season. So very clean.
Well, again, knowing your body, your coach also knowing your body as well, that back and forth, that all played a a deciding factor in the direction that you went. And like, and as someone who's still figuring out numbers too, it's nice to hear from other competitors that it's not necessarily that number. It's how it's the look.
It's the look. It really is the look. And like I had this number in my head, and I was like, oh, and that wasn't it. And then I'm like, 190. Can I imagine having to diet that back down? Because I've gone up to those higher numbers, and then it's like, God, when you have to diet all that back down, it's like, Jesus Christ, you're killing yourself to diet it back down, and then you still end up losing some of the muscle that you gained. When I know what we put on, we kept, because it was quality, and we did it the right way, So.
And see, that's the key: putting on quality and not losing in that preparation phase.
Yeah, and just having a pretty clean off season, it's so funny because I'm like, when I'm in prep and I'm getting ready for a show, the cravings and you want everything. But in off season, I swear, I'm like, oh, I can have that, but it's just so much, it's so mental. Everything is so mental, anyways. So of course I'm in off season. I'm like, I can eat clean. I'm not really craving anything. I'm just kind of going through it, and it was just a solid off season, very solid off season.
Yeah, and that led to your win, and again now going to the Olympia for the 6th time. So what are you most looking forward to now as Masters Olympian champion going to the Olympia?
I don't know. Right now we're just it's making that first call out. Everything right now is about getting in the first call out. Rising Phoenix, my highest has been 9th. I mean, my first year I was 10th and 9th, so now it's this year we're top 5. Same thing with Olympia. My highest placing has been 9th, so the focus is really now to get to that first call out and what it's actually going to really take to get over that last little hump, really, because we're right there. We're close, and it's just it takes a lot. It's really gonna but that's the goal right now, and I think we're right there. So yeah,
you have 3 weeks for Rising, and then you coast on in a couple weeks after that and into the Olympia.
Yeah.
So,
not a lot of changes now, just kind of dial in now, get a little bit leaner, and hold the size that we have. Get a little bit leaner, and then we'll just fill out a little bit more, and that's just going to be a little bit more food, prior to the show. But yeah, that's about it. Get a little bit fuller, and a little bit leaner as we go. So.
And will we be seeing a different presentation at?
Yeah. We got a couple new routines. Which I was joking. I said, my prep coach was a lot happier than my posing coach. She's like, okay, we got to fix the routine. Prejudging routine will tweak a little bit. But I have new music for the Olympia. I'm going to make some changes for the Rising Phoenix for my evening routine, but there'll be a brand new routine completely for the Olympia that is in the works right now. So she's posing coach is getting to work on that now. So
nice. So you'll be doing something new you'll be ready. Rising Phoenix, you're going to have something.
Rising Phoenix will be a newer routine. We're going to switch up some things from what we just did in Romania. The Olympia, Sharonica's working on something completely different. I actually don't even know what it is quite yet. So yeah, she's like, but this one will be one for the books. So
one for the book. Now, do you have input too, or is it just your choreographer, your posing coach?
My posing coach, I'm going to let her kind of take the ring. I personally prefer it that way. She's really good at posing, being extremely technical, which I like and I respond really well to. And we've gotten into a really kind of a good groove as far as with the posing and stuff. So, and this was like our first time kind of really working together. So I think this will be, I'm letting her kind of take the lead on that. And I'm just gonna, my plan is actually to go out there in person and do some posing in person too, right before the Olympia, because it's that serious at this point. So, yeah, it definitely is. So, and for me, I'm someone like, I'm not like a dancer, so it's not my thing. So I'm always like, okay, the routine, and that's like, all right, but I know at this point, it's like, it comes down to the presentation really at this point. That's the last part that's lacking. And that's what the judges want, just a little bit more of that from me. And that's kind of how it was in Romania. It was like they wanted more emotion. They saw more emotion from me in terms of on stage and how bad I really wanted it. They were like, you were pretty clear as far as the pose down and all that. So, yeah, just kind of dial in the routines a little more and just a little more polish and just keep practicing. And, I'm like, I'm not a dancer, but, we got to perform for the audience. So.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. You know, just
I know it was like my coach was like, "Listen, this is we're in a new league now. You've got to step it up." And I'm like, "Okay, across all boards, exactly. Let's go." So it's one of those things where it's a bit overwhelming, but at the same time, it's like, "All right, let's do it." Like my mindset now, it's like I'm 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 one of the best, and I know I can be. But to be one of the best, it takes a lot. Like I was thinking the other day, I'm like, Andrea got to be tired, bro, because like she's like busy 24/7. It's a lot. Like it's a lot, and even to like even like a tenth of a taste of that, it's like it's overwhelming. Like this first week for me has been just overwhelming, and like I tear up every few minutes just thinking about stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how she does. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's just mad respect. If I didn't have it before, it's like mad respect for like just everything. Yeah. So.
oh yeah, it feels like the it's just a little bit more you gotta handle. You gotta and
Mhm.
be able to do that
And do it with a smile on your face,
and
because
do it
like
with
you
a
gotta.
smile on your face. Yeah, she does a great.
Yes,
She's
and be very graceful. Yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
But girl,
Mm-hmm.
you got this. You got this.
Mm-hmm.
You are this. So
Yes,
like you said,
I
just
know, and that's why I'm like, I'm talking to Linda. She's like, Miss O, I can say that now, and I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yes, good girl. You hear that? Hearing that from the Miss
yes,
Olympia, right?
I
Yeah,
know. It's like, wow, wow, yeah.
yeah,
Who would have
yeah.
thought? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, those who do follow Miss Reshanna know that she's also a super mom as well. So this one is a mom question for you. Since you are a super mom, what is the message that you're hoping that your kids are getting from seeing you just perform at such a high level and just pursue everything that you do the way that you do?
You know, this is all for them. Like they're definitely my motivation. And it was kind of what I said too when I was on like 13-hour trip, 4 or 5 days away from my kids. We're FaceTiming, in the morning and before they go to bed. And it's just, and you're like, Mommy, Mom, where you working? Well, yeah, I am working. I'm working, but like they go to every Olympia. So for me, it was like, well, I got to win because that's our family vacation is the Olympia. That's where we go every year. So, and they love it. They love going to the show. They always snag a picture in the magazine. Yeah, so it's just this one was just it was just one of those. I'm like, I got to get them there. We got to get there. This is our thing. It's our thing. It's Team Boswell, and they love it. They enjoy it. They talk to people are used to seeing them now. So, and they've been to every Olympia. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I had the pleasure of seeing the whole crew and meeting the crew in action at the last one. So
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
go
we're
ahead.
deep. And shout out to our nanny because like we bring the nanny everywhere because like
Yeah, I got to meet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was rolling with you. I was like, they got a whole operation going
man,
on.
listen.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, she travels everywhere with us, and it's one of those. But like the kids, they love her. And I trust her, and yeah, so yeah, and she goes everywhere with us. That's yeah.
So since we're on Team Boswell, go ahead and give Team Boswell a shout out. Who is on Team Boswell?
Well, my wife Kay, of course, who meal preps for the whole family. She portions everything out. She's better at it than I am, to be quite honest.
You're
My
right or
kids,
die.
she is. She's awesome. And my kids, Lucas and Lourdes, and our nanny, Miss Banks. That's our small little niche group there. That group never changes.
She says they're watching now. Team Boswell says they're watching now. So
Yes,
go ahead and say hi to
yes.
them.
And my daughter, like they know when I'm in the basement, and they're like, "Mama, you're posing." They know I'm posing. Like they know what's going on. So they're like, yeah, they pose and flex and do all that kind of stuff in the mirrors with me too. So.
Oh, so we might it might be safe to say that one of them might be following
Oh, I think
in
so. Definitely,
footsteps.
definitely. My son's always, "Can I go to the gym with you?" He wants to go to the gym with me. He's got his gym bag. He's doing his thing. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Pretty
So
awesome.
one last thing that before I close this out, because again, you are a wife, you're a mom, and you're also an ambassador for the sport, and it's important just to, you know, pass on a little something to those coming into the game. So any advice that you would like to pass on to any young ladies that are pursuing the sport of bodybuilding?
Just enjoy the process, you know, enjoy the process. I mean, I remember going to my very first show and just kind of sitting in the audience and just kind of taking it all in. And it was like, and I knew, like, I see people like eating out and they're drinking the gallons of water, and I'm like, all right. But it was like, I thought it was cool. Like, it was a cool thing to me. And then, like, to see the people on stage, and I'm like, all right, again, these are my people. This is where I belong. And I just kind of knew. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to do my first show. And then when you really just, and it's like, either you're in or you're out. But it's like, if just enjoy the process. I look back on it now, like my first show going in and just everything. Enjoy the whole process. I enjoyed the training and the dieting. And even when it sucks, it's still fun, you know? And it's, yeah, just enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. Take it all in. Don't rush anything. Don't rush the muscle. Don't rush the leanness. It takes time. Don't rush to grow. It takes time. I was 113 pounds the very first time I stepped on stage. You know, I was 170 now. You know, it takes time. It's almost 10 years later. So.
Did you ever think that you would, at 117? You just said, you know, I was like, I want to let you go, but wait a minute. That's a good one. Before we close out. You just, 117 to what?
To 170, yeah. It's, yeah.
Did you ever think?
No, you know, but it was just a progression and just progression. You know, and I didn't think from figure to physique, because I went through, you know, figure, physique to bodybuilding, and like, and this is where I really truly feel my home is at. But like, just in the picking, I had a picture pop up in my memories the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, that was the first show. You know, it's small, and it's just like, it's amazing the process. But yeah, if you just keep going, hey, you just keep going.
Yeah. That's what I like. And again, now Masters is back. I've been saying it since Masters came back, and then seeing you win and just seeing all those ladies up there. This is a long game. This is a long game.
Our sport is different. Like age doesn't matter in our sport as much as it does in other things. It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
You could take your time. You could take your time, pursue other things. Or again, if you're just solely working on yourself, just, you know, take a step back if you need to. The stage isn't going anywhere. Nope. The stage welcomes you at any age.
It does. It does. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just bring your best you. And yeah, your only competition is you. And I've learned that too. It's like, I look at the other cat and like, who do you know who you're competing against? I mean, I know who's out there, but I'm not concerned anymore. I'm just not. I'm going to work on me and bring the best me, because that's all I can really do at the end in the first place. And as long as I do that, my best me is winning. I'm good. So, you know, and as long as you believe that, then yeah. So.
Yes, the best you. So may the best you, Reshanna, win coming up in the next few weeks. We got Rising Phoenix for you, but you're going to the O. The big O, the family vacation.
I was wondering how we were going to get back here, man. I was wondering. I was just... I was looking at the schedule, like, what show? We got a lot of options. Let me see.
You had that one little moment where you were like, all right, I don't know, how's this family vacay gonna happen?
You put it in, but that's real. And I was like, okay, we got to figure this out. And we did.
Yes. You made it happen for Team Boswell. You made it happen for yourself. And again, it's inspiring. Again, personally knowing you and being a friend. And you've always shown me love. So again, it was nice to see you win and go back to the Olympia. So that's it for this installment of Queens of the Olympia. Thank you, everybody, for growing with us. Thank you, everybody, for the support. And that's it. So until next time, be good to yourself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, that's it. We're out.